What's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining me. I appreciate you being here. Hopefully you're here for the whole video. I got some really good things to say about the Sacramento Kings. So the Kings won 2 in a row. Are we still tanking? Are we going to lose our draft position? Were we ever tanking? Also, should Keegan Murray be considered in draft talks? And my last topic is about Scott Perry. Is Scott Perry moving too slow? Is he going to do anything this year before trade deadline? Let's talk these things and some more on the Kings Convo right after this. Yes, welcome back to the King's Cup of Joe with Jay. I appreciate you being here. Let's get into it. Hey, everybody, thanks for being here. I appreciate you stopping by to check out my content. And I just want to say to all my friends, my folks, and all you Kings fans out there, it's your guy, Jay Woods, aka Shy the Man, and I'm back at you with another episode of the King's Cup of Joe with Jay. So my cup of Joe today, I added some chocolate, made myself a homemade mocha. I did it a little while ago, so my coffee's getting kind of cold, but it's still gonna get me through this show, so let's get it. And today is January 13th, 2026, the new year. And today is Tuesday. Yes, it is Taco Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday, I got the cheese, she tasting the Kool-Aid. Migo the plug, Guadalupe.
Hey, real quick, before I get into these topics, guys, I asked if you could, please, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for your boy. Why not? If you're in the Kings talk, Kings news, Kings analysis, Kings therapy, I'm your guy. Click that subscribe button. Plus, real quick, I'm going to be talking about some good stuff today. Go ahead and click that like button. Why not? Click that like button for your boy. It helps bring more eyes to the channel. We're trying to grow. We're a small show right now, trying to pick up some momentum, and hopefully pretty soon we'll be able to do some live watch parties on the show as well. So click that like button, help us grow. Also, a great way to help us is make a comment. Make a comment on this content. You can comment about anything. You can comment about the Kings. You can comment about me. You can comment on how I'm doing. You can comment on the weather. I don't care. Comment on anything. Just make a comment for your boy. Why not? You got a second or two? Type a quick sentence in there for your boy. And also, one of the greatest things you can do for me is share this content. You share this content, that's amazing. I always feel real golden when people share my content. Plus, if you share my content, I'll even post something on your pages too. So those are ways you can help the channel, help your boy. So the Kings, my first topic, the Kings just recently won 2 in a row. Last night, they just beat up on the hated Lakers, our rival, the Lakers. And LeBron and Luka Doncic were playing. So a lot of Kings fans are going to ask, how did they do that? How did they beat the Lakers? You know, the Lakers are doing good right now with their big three they have with Austin Reeves, Luka Doncic, and LeBron James. Or some fans might be, like me, might be asking, why did you do this? And I'm always okay with the Kings beating the Lakers. That's our rival. I hate the Lakers. I hate how the Lakers fans come and try to take over the G1C. So any win against the Lakers is always a good win. They just recently beat Houston. So I guess one would ask, have the Kings figured things out at this point? And, you know, I don't think so. I mean, Doug is playing with these lineups, and the lineup he used last night did really well. Malik Monk did really well. Malik Monk usually does pretty good off the bench for us. I thought he was doing good as the starter last year, but you know, everybody's going to coach different. Doug feels like he's a backup player. He's definitely a microwave type player coming off the bench for us. And it was actually good to see Malik Monk out there playing, having fun, scoring, getting points, and getting these Kings fans behind him and getting them real excited. It's always good to see. It's always great to watch him do those things. I always knew he could. He's one of my favorites. He's one of the fans' favorites. I don't want to trade Malik Monk. There was some talk about why is Malik Monk not playing? Why is he getting all these DMPs? A lot of people were saying it's because he possibly in trade talks. They don't want to get him injured and he might get traded. But my opinion, I don't want to trade Malik Monk. He called this place home. He plays so hard for Sacramento, and he plays hard for these fans and for the Kings that he's one of the guys that I want to see stay. Also, Keon Ellis. I'm going to see Keon Ellis stay. Obviously, the new rookies, the new guys, Maxime Renaud and Nick Clifford, I want to see those guys stay. Keon Ellis has been in a lot of trade talks. I would like to see Keon Ellis stay. But these other guys, I like Sabonis too. A lot of people want to see Sabonis go. But, some of these other guys probably should be trade bait. DeMar DeRozan. I like DeMar. I would like to keep DeMar. But a lot of people feel like he slows down our offense. He's good in the half court. He'd be great in a playoff series. But I think our number one trade asset is probably, in my opinion, Levine. People feel like he can't be traded because of his salary. I disagree with that. He can be moved, So are the Kings still tanking? I don't think they were ever tanking. I just think this team was a lot worse than what people expected them to be. And I think a lot of people knew that our team was off balanced as far as position wise, and we had a whole bunch of guards and not enough big guys, or no power forwards and no center, one center, two centers. So I think we all knew the team was unbalanced. I just didn't think we realized how bad this team was going to be chemistry wise, defensively, and just on the court. So I think it was kind of a big surprise to see how bad they were. You guys know my feeling, the season is cooked. There's no way we could get to the playoffs. There's no way we can make it to the play-in. I mean, there is a way we could do that, but it's not going to happen. Plus, I don't want to see this team in the playoffs. I don't want to see this team in the play-in. So for me, the season's cooked. I don't care. They can lose every game from here on out. And I know that's kind of depressing. It's not a good product. People don't want to see losing all the time, and people don't want to see guys not trying at all. That's why some of these blowouts hurt the fans so much. But in my opinion, I don't mind if the Kings lose. Of course, I want to see good play, good product, and I want to see guys out there playing hard and developing, mainly the rookies, So seeing Malik Monk and a couple of these other guys go off last night, I mean, I'm okay with it, But I also don't mind the Kings losing and even being the worst placed team at this point. I want to say there's a second worst team right now record-wise. The only team worse is Washington, so they're already kind of there already. But, slow. I hate to say it because, you play to win the game, but Kings, you don't have to win so many games. There's no future. There's no future in our fronting. There's no future in this team right here. The only thing that would make the season like halfway okay is if the team somehow found it and just started winning tons of games. But I don't know. They can't make the playoffs, and I just want a good draft pick at this point. So they don't have to win. I just want to see them play well and develop, which is kind of a conundrum, I know. And my second topic is, should Keegan Murray be a trade asset? In my opinion, Keegan Murray, he has held this team down as far as defensively this season mainly. His three-point shot is not as good as it has been in the past or as good as it was in his rookie season. And I still feel like Keegan is good for this team. I just don't know how much better Keegan is really going to be. I think the goal was always for him to be like a 20-point per game scorer that plays really good defense and rebounds. If he can do that, I mean, great. But I'm starting to feel like we've seen Keegan's ceiling, and how much higher can it go? If he looked for his shot more and was more aggressive on offense, I think he can get better that way, drive to the basket more, develop a little bit more of a post game. I think he can get better that way. But as far as the way he plays now, currently his game now, he's a D&3 guy. He's a role player at this point. If he can step up his offense and be more aggressive on offense, he does have room to get better, and he can get better. It's just, I think we'll have to see if that's going to happen. If we're going to have to see if he develops that way as far as being an aggressive offensive scorer and driving to the basket and things like that. Can he get better? I think so. Will he? I think that's what we need to see. So the question is, should he be a trade asset? I think Keegan can be a trade asset, but at the same time, not for just anything and not just for anybody. I feel like you would have to get a few picks for Keegan if you're going to move off of Keegan. And I want to say you should get at least 3 picks. He should be worth at least 2 number ones. Maybe people would say he's probably only worth 1 number 1 and maybe number 2. I feel like you could get at least 2 number 1s and a second for Keegan Murray. And that should be the goal, in my opinion. No less than that. And if you're going to trade him, I don't really feel like you need to trade him for another player in this league, unless that player is just like this long, aggressive scorer type that can really go out there and get buckets and rebound and play defense. And, you know, there's not a lot of players like that out there. I mean, there are, but are teams going to be just giving them up for Keegan Murray? Probably not. You know, I doubt it. So should he be an asset? I don't see why not. Keegan should be an asset, but obviously for the right price, though. We're not just giving guys away, and we don't want to give them away. He has some youth about him. He rebounds, and he's good defender, developing into a great defender, and hopefully he can get that 3-point shot back, because I feel like he can be an asset on this team. He could be a number 3, you know, maybe if he or number 4, number 3 definitely if he gets more aggressive scoring and can average about 20 points per game. So should he be an asset? He should be, but like I said, for the right price. And my last thoughts of today, my last topic is, do I think Scott Perry is moving too slow? Is he being too calculated? Is he trying to win too much of these trades? Or is he trying to get too much out of these trades? And in my opinion, at this point, you know, a lot of people will say he hasn't done much or hasn't done anything. I disagree. He signed Precious Achiuwa. He signed Westbrook. You know, he got Eubanks over here. So, you know, he's done some things. You know, has he done a lot? No. But I do believe in his mentality, and I do believe the type of players that he wants are the type of players that the Kings need and should have. And so some of Scott Perry's determining traits are he wants them to be competitive, he wants them to be tough, he wants them to be professional, he wants them to be team-oriented, he wants them to be accountable, and he wants them to be disciplined. Those are some of the traits that Scott Perry is looking for in people that he put on this team. And another comment he's made is that he's looking for volunteers who fit his profile, who fit this profile, and not hostages. He doesn't want to hold players hostage. In other words, players that don't want to be on this team. He wants guys that volunteer and want to be on this team and want to play on this team and want to exude those traits. So, competitive, tough, professional, team-oriented, and accountable, and disciplined. You know, which is all traits that are good for a basketball player. You know, who wouldn't want that? Who doesn't want that for their basketball team, right? Those are definitely traits you want out of a basketball player, right? And somebody on your team. So, do you have to have all those traits to be on the team? I don't know, probably not. But I do respect the fact that Scott Perry does not want to be, he doesn't want to be losers in these trades. He doesn't want to be taken advantage of in these trades. He wants his fair share. He wants his value. He's valuing these guys, and he's valuing the King, what the King should get back, very highly, which is good. You know, there was times when Monty McNair would do a deal or make a trade, and I just felt like we would be giving up too much for too little at times. Even with the Fox trade, people felt like the Kings should have got more back for Fox. So In that way, I feel like Scott Perry is doing a good job. He's not going to let the Kings get taken advantage of. And I believe he has his eyes set on a certain type of player that he wants. You know, he wants tough guys. He wants guys that are going to play hard and be physical out there, which you can kind of see in the guys he's picked up, right? With Precious Achiuwa and Westbrook being, you know, tough-nosed, hard guys that play full games and they play defense, you know, things like that. So you can kind of see it in the guys that he's picked up and even in the guys that he's drafted in Nick Clifford and Maxime Renaud. So it probably feels like at times he's not doing anything or things aren't getting done. But in the background, I believe Scott Perry is talking to teams. I believe he has his eyes on certain players and maybe even certain teams to deal with to get some of these picks that we need and maybe to get a player that we need. So I don't think he's working too slow, but I do believe there is a chance that nothing happens at trade deadline. There is that chance that nothing happens at trade deadline. I think the Kings fans want things to move along a little bit. They want to see what we're going to have for next year. They want to get this team better as fast as they can. And I think they're kind of expecting something to happen at this trade deadline. But there's no guarantee that there will definitely be some type of trade or something that happens. Something is going to pop, though, at some point, and I think it's going to be probably a big multi-team trade, probably involving 3 teams or more, maybe 4 or 5 teams. But at some point, something is going to give. Something is going to pop. I believe some guys will be traded, and there will be some type of activity for the Kings during the trade, before the trade deadline. Exactly what that is, I'm not sure. Exactly who's going, I'm not sure. It seems like it's been a lot of talk about Malik Monk, Keegan Murray, and Levine, you know, and maybe even DeRozan possibly being on the move. I have a feeling those are kind of the guys that Scott Perry is kind of looking at to move. So I don't want to see Malik Monk go at all. That's the last guy I want to see go. Keon Ellis, I mean, I don't want to see him go, but if we get something good back for him, I could see him moving on. He's a great D3 guy, which the Kings need. And then Levine. Levine goes to another team. The Kings are going to get back somebody or some picks in return. Another player, I'm not sure. I have a feeling if we trade Levine, it's going to be for picks. But we'll have to see, you know. He's very calculated, and he's not going to let the Kings lose. So those are good things for the Kings. Will something happen by trade deadline? I'm not sure. But something will happen definitely in the off season. I don't believe he's too slow. I think he's working on stuff. I think, like he even said, Kings fans probably just need to be kind of patient and let this thing work its way out. He gave a timeline of all the way up to 5 years. I don't want it to take that long. To me, that's my opinion. That's a little bit long. 5 years from now is 2031. You know, Kings fans have been hungry just to even see us in the playoffs. So 2031 is kind of a long time to watch. Obviously, I'll still be a Kings fan. I mean, where else am I going to go? I'm not going to be a fan of any other team. So I'll be there. It would just be nice to see something happen sooner than that, sooner than later. You know what I mean? So we'll see. I do have a feeling Scott has something really big that's going to happen before trade deadline, though. So we'll keep our eyes open for that. But if it doesn't happen, we just got to be patient. Let this season ride out for what it is. Go ahead and get our top 5 draft pick. Hopefully it'll be a top 3, and the top 3 is what I'm hoping for. And then, you know, we could see if Westbrook's going to be on this team and just kind of work the team together from the offseason and try to balance this team out a little bit more and get more players that Scott, the type of player Scott wants on this team. So we just got to be patient. Something will happen, and I believe something will happen before deadline. But anyway, that was my cup of joe on those topics. And I like today I'm drinking Don Francisco cinnamon caramel. I think it's cinnamon caramel. Something like cinnamon vanilla, something like that. So no French roast today, but Don Francisco cinnamon caramel roast. And it's pretty damn good, especially when it's hot. Added a little bit of chocolate and it's fire. That's it. That's all I got for today. I appreciate you watching this far. And if you haven't already, please, I ask, please, if you like this analysis, you like talking Kings, you like commenting on Kings, you can't get enough Kings news, please subscribe to this channel. Click that like button to help me grow. Make a comment. Comment on anything I said. If you disagree with anything I said, make that comment. And if you agree, make that comment too. And if you can share this content, I really appreciate you. And once again, thanks for watching this far. Hopefully you'll be back for the next one. And I just want to say, I'm out. But before you go, check out these basketball moves. It's good.